If you're struggling with your driver, not hitting it as solid and as straight as you'd like to, I'm pretty confident I can change that in this video with one incredibly simple move. And I guarantee that all of you watching can make this really simple move. And if you do it correctly, like I said, it can transform your golf game. So what is that really simple move? Well, get yourself kind of feet shoulder width apart and just stand up as normal as you can. Let your hands and arms fall to the side of your body. And then with your trail hands, that's my right side, I'm going to take my fingers, I'm going to slide down until I reach the top of or the side of my knee here. That's it. That's the move. If you could do that, then you can become a great driver of the golf ball. In this video, we're going to explain exactly why that move is so important. And it's all to do with the downswing and how you rotate, and something that we need to add in to make sure it works. We're going to do a little demonstration, and then we're going to explain that movement. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to explain to you why, even if you make this really important move, it can still result in some pretty terrible shots, because it's all to do with a really key aspect of this move, which we'll cover later. So I'm going to take two alignment sticks, and I'm going to place one of them through my belt loops like this. And I'm going to make sure I leave it so it's quite long on the trail side. And I take the other alignment stick and I'm going to do the same thing, make it sort of long on the trail side. So if I took a posture here, I want to look at the two ends of the alignment sticks and the distance between them. Now if I rotate, it doesn't really matter which way, whether I rotate forward or back, this is rotation. Okay, notice how the ends of the alignment stick, they're not getting further away from each other, they're not getting closer to each other. But what if we just do that little move that I just got you to do? Well, when I do that little move, you see how pretty much the end of the alignment stick touch. So this is a upper body tilt, end of the alignment stick touch. So let me grab a driver, and I'm going to take my setup and try and do my best kind of one-handed swing if I can. So let's have a look at the end of the alignment sticks. They start off a certain distance apart, and as I make my backswing, they will probably actually get a little bit further apart from each other, if you can see those. So if in my downswing, my sole focus is to rotate my body back towards where it came from, we're going to get downswings that look like this. You can see how the end of the alignment stick, they've not connected. Whereas my golf club got, it's gone way too much on the outside. At this stage of the golf swing, it's far too high. Look at my body shape from face on. That doesn't look like what we see from the great players. And from here, my golf club has to work down and across the golf ball. Down and across the golf ball is probably the most common type of delivery from a golfer who comes to me and says, Chris, I'm just really struggling with the driver. I just can't hit it straight. I can't control the curve, it doesn't go particularly far. It's often because the golf club is coming down and across. You look at the great drivers of the golf, we'll use Rory as an example. He generally swings up on the ball, which maximizes his distance, and he generally plays a little bit of a draw, which means his golf club is moving a little bit more from in to out. Low to high, in to out is what's going to give you generally better drives. So if I was to take these alignment sticks again, place one across my shoulders, and just from a setup, just go into what would be a pretty sort of standard impact for a driver. Okay, notice how the end of the alignment stick are now much, much closer together because I had tilt through my upper body. Okay, let me get rid of the driver for a moment. So, what do we do in the backswing? We rotate. The end of those alignment sticks generally move further apart. But as I make my downswing, I rotate back towards the target, but I add in tilt. Tilt is what gets those alignment sticks to touch at this point here. Now look at how different that body shape is from what we saw previously. And if I had the golf club in my hand, which we'll do in a moment, the club path and delivery will be so much more consistent. So you can take a couple of alignment sticks and you can very simply just try and get them to connect in your downswing. Backswing, downswing, get them to connect. Now how easy is that little exercise? How simple is that to do? Notice how my head is staying nice and still. I'm not tipping my upper body back this way. I'm rotating and I'm tilting. And if I can get these two alignment sticks to touch, that tells me I've got rotation and I've got that all-important move, which is tilt. Now watch what happens when I do this with a golf club. It's a little tricky. This is to try and hold these and hold a golf club. So let's take that really poor position that we demonstrated earlier, where we had this rotation, and watch what happens to the club shaft and the club head if I simply add in the tilt that I want. Well, suddenly the golf club is in now a position where it's able to swing from low to high, and it's able to swing from in to out. The reason that club was in that position and was going to give me a very different delivery was not because I manipulated it with my hands, it was because I used my body efficiently. And that's really, really key. So that little exercise is brilliant. But getting those alignment sticks to touch isn't all that you need. Okay, you can actually get those alignment sticks to touch at impact and still hit some pretty terrible drives. Okay, it's all down to timing and when things happen. So watch what happens if I haven't got the alignment sticks now, but there's no reason why I couldn't go back, make this poor movement to start down, and then what a lot of golfers will do from here is sort of realize that actually that club isn't in the right position. I need to get that club down towards the ground. How will they do it? They will start to add the tilt. So now, if I had those alignment sticks on, they'd be touching, but that golf club is still moving from high to low and across the golf ball because my timing was out. So you might look at your golf swing from face on and see this and think to yourself, well, I'm doing exactly what Chris has said. I've got that tilt, I've got that rotation, I must be doing it right. You can still have them touching and unfortunately get it wrong. The key thing is making sure that from the top of your golf swing, they start to move closer to each other straight away. Okay, one across there, one across there. Obviously I haven't got it through my belt loops this time, but it's making sure that right from the top, they're starting to move closer together. We don't want that movement to happen far too late. Start off, stand like this. Can you move and touch your leg? If you can, that's the movement that you need. Then get the alignment sticks. Start off with the alignment sticks. Can you get them to touch? Make a backswing, rotate, get them to touch. Start to introduce that movement before you even pick up a driver, before you even try and hit a ball, because that's going to make it more difficult. Before we pick up a driver and hit a shot, we've got to try and understand the movements. We've got to try and rehearse the movements so your concepts are really, really clear. Ultimately, no reason why you can't take a setup, make some little rehearsals where you feel like you're connecting those alignment sticks, and then you can go in and hit a shot. Honestly, that one tiny little move could be an absolute game changer for you. Could take you away from those low, weak, cutty drives to high draws that go a hell of a lot further. Give it a go. I'm confident it's really going to make a difference.